transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
Good afternoon to the good people. Good afternoon to the bad people, friends and enemies. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, boom, shakalaka, to you all. I am Chris Base. This is BaseLine on a Saturday afternoon. And the reason why for that is because, of course, we took off Friday to celebrate, I wouldn't say July 4th, but it probably extension of Juneteenth. Because, when Juneteenth arrived, we didn't celebrate till like 2 years later. So, so it's kind of a protest thing. But I understand the vitriol that goes along with it. I understand that people, of course, who the service people who fight for our country, I don't begrudge them that. But for me, it was a nice way to take a day off and also start queuing. I'm not barbecued in 10 years. I'll tell you about that momentarily, how that went. Hope your holiday was great. Of course, Barbara Jean is here. Barbara Jean's Saturday afternoon greetings are right there on the YouTube channel, which is, of course, the Chris Base channel, all one word with a period at the end of the channel. Thank you, Barbara Jean, always being here. Also, Saturday afternoon greetings on the Facebook Live as well. Let's see. How you doing, Omar? Happy after 4th of July, Chris. And, of course, hello to Barbara Jean and asking how was your 4th for Barbara Jean as well. How was mine? Like I said before, it was okay. Like I said before, I really don't celebrate the 4th, but I respect people who celebrate it, so I don't want to get into any type of political back and forth. But it was a nice holiday to take the time off. Now, here was the deal. So as I told you, I moved, and we, meaning my family, had talked about having a get-together to celebrate the move and, of course, have people, family and friends over. And I didn't get the memo on it until the day before. I think I heard about it Wednesday, maybe Wednesday, and also Thursday. And of course, the celebration will be on Friday. Now, I don't know about you. Let me just take a poll. Once again, maybe I'm not connected to life this way. Would you invite someone to, say, a cookout the day of the cookout? Or would you give some time because you don't know what the person's schedule is? Just a show of hands real quick. Just type in the comment section. I know you ain't going to call, but just type in the comment section about that. Me personally, I like to give some time to the projected guest because they may have their own plans. I don't do well with day of. Hey man, go through coming through the day of. I don't knock people who do it, and some people may stop what they're doing and go to said party, but I like to give some people time because, again, depending on their own schedule, they may or may not be able to make it. Now, once again, would you invite somebody over to your place for a cookout the day of? Like I said, I'm not knocking anybody who does it. I just don't particularly do it. That's all. Let's see. Barbara Jane, my day was pretty uneventful. I made a purchase of Amazon cakes and picked up a few items from Aldi's. Well, yeah. So see, once again, you act accordingly to what you do in life, and that's to each their own. Everybody got their own thing going. So, yeah, me personally, I just like to give people time. I don't really recall, and not saying I've never done it before. I don't recall asking somebody to come the day of. Now, some people could do that. Some people, hey man, I'll come to the spot whatever time you got there. I'll pull up and things like that. And once again, I'm begrudging them of that. I like communication. I like to respect people's time. And once again, depending on who you vibe with back and forth, you may know some people that will drop what they're doing and come see what they're dropping. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you two vibe and communicate. I guess for me, take into consideration the holiday, take into consideration that they might have their own plans. So all I can do as the host is to give out a timeline of when it's going to be, of course, being the 4th, and then, pull up. Let's see. That's wrong on so many levels. It sounds too much like an afterthought. I agree, but see, again, I'm not trying to again step on people's toes time wise. I'm not trying to do that. But everybody has it. That's why I was asking you, the audience out there, what would you do? I feel like ABC. What would you do? Hello, I'm John Quiones. And so letting everybody know, of course, is Free Your Mind on the Saturday. Again, taking the time off from yesterday and coming on today. Thank you so much for coming on board, helping celebrate the weekend, taking time out to be here. I deeply appreciate it. And so you know the routine. You always go to YouTube, like Barbara Jean does, and the rest of you who do the YouTube, the Chris Base channel, all one word, with the period at the end of the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share that bad boy or girl or anybody else. Make sure you do that. Also, you call in at 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106. Instagram, I am the base. And if you are so bold, you know what I'm about to say, you are so bold, you can ask for the show link and I'll put it in the comment section. Yes, the show link does work. Speaking of show links working, shout out to the amazing Gene Sparrow, who was on the show Wednesday for CBI. Oh man, I was just blown away. I was just thinking about it just now. This past Wednesday, we did CBI Chris Base interview, so that was a treat. I've known of Gene pretty much since I got into radio, since I got as a student of radio at Columbia College Chicago when I was a student, and of course, he's on WGCI then, and it was a miraculous time for radio because I forgot to mention this during the interview. So then President and General Manager Marv Dyson had come to speak to my radio sales class. And he was good friends with my instructor, Sid. I've got his last name. Sid was all like 4'11", had 3 strands of hair left that went from east to west. And he had his trousers pop, really up to here and had the tie that was inside the trousers up to his chest. But he knew and loved radio. So he had Marv come in to speak to us. And right around that time, it was rumored that WGCI was about to become the station #1 in Chicago market and beating WGN AM, because WGN had been #1 for 25 years. This was like the late 80s, early 90s during this time. Oh my God, it was miraculous. And shout out to my girl, Lisa E., because Lisa E. and I were classmates. Well, we had a couple of classes there at Columbia, but she was one of the big and great things at WGCI, working with the great Doug Banks and Tom Joyner, all types of talent, and had helped me get this interview with Gene Sparrow. In fact, she was the one that I had to connect with to get to Gene, because she works with Gene all the time. It was a great time. It really was. Oh, thank you, Barbara Jean. Says a great interview. Thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful, and you know how it is when you talk with someone who you're talking shop, but it becomes more conversational than an interview. And like I said before, I've been in interviews before, and of course, we had to host the heavy lifting, but it was just a breeze when you talk to someone, of course, who in the same industry as you, and you get a chance to just shoot it, but it's fun. A lot of fun. I like the moment when we had commiserated over the Sony MDR 7506 headphones that we both have. I got my pair still right here. I use from time to time. And then she was talking about hers. And that's going to take a whole different level. Because as I said before, when I was in college, when we found out that those became the industry headphones, that we all got them. It cost a pretty penny because, you're a broke-ass student, but you did what you could to pay for those. I could not wait to save up and to pay for those. I eventually did. And it was just wonderful, man, to get a pair of those headphones. Because everybody in the industry was wearing those. Everybody. And I said before, the cool thing about going to Columbia at the time was money well spent because when I was there, when I got to the radio station at WCRX, the college radio station there, they were, I think the next couple of semesters, they installed the new control board, and it was by Wheatstone. Wheatstone is an industry radio component, and they have fantastic control boards and other radio professional parts to work with. We had the same board as a WGCI, as a Loop FM and AM, so we were right there on the cusp of current technology. So it wasn't like our our tuition dollars were in somebody's pocket and they kept eating state dinner, from what I know. But those were really, it was fun times. It was great. And it was just, again, just to be a part of that. It was just, and once again, thank you, Gene, for all those memories. Going back to my time at Columbia and going back to time just being in radio, getting started. So, Sick Diggy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to one Sick Diggy. How you doing, Sick? Thank you for being here, man. Always appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you taking the time, especially on a Saturday afternoon. And so we have to worry about Saturday morning. As you know, I made the shift to Friday afternoons. Friday afternoons is much better. As I was explaining to Gene, to unask myself from bed, it was getting kind of harsh. Getting kind of harsh there. But as of course, we didn't really get into it because she has so much on her plate. Gene does a show on, what was it, V103. I think she said from 6 a.m. to noon. That's a hell of a shift. I ain't mad at her on Saturday mornings. Hey, Sue, how you doing? Sue says, you look good, Chris. Look, she always looked good. I was talking about Columbia. This person right here, meaning Sue, love her more. Always will. Why? Because she was the first person that I really started to vibe with as a, fellow, student. But she was the one, and I'll say this continuously. The reason why I got to WLSAM was because of Sue Helene, because Sue was working there, and Sue recommended that they were looking for board operators, board ops. And not been for Sue Helene Smiley, I wouldn't have had no type of so-called career. I never would have had it. Not at all. You know me, I've always believed in giving people credit when credit's due. Sue, when we all used to work together, was, you couldn't talk to too many people because there's too many people backstabbing you. And that's in all walks of life, in professional or personal. But Sue was not that person. If you can get along with Sue Helene Smiley, then something's wrong with your ass. Really, I love her more. I think, again, and she was the person, again, that introduced me to Patty Melts. I know what the fuck a Patty Melt was. It could have been somebody's nickname. But when we used to go out to lunch there in the South Loop, go to this restaurant, and she would ask for a patty melt. I had no idea what a patty melt. I said, okay, okay, when in Rome, I'll try it. Oh my God. Changed my life. Changed my life. The grilled onions, the cheese, the patty, the rye bread. Oh my God. I haven't had one in a while. And thank you, Sue, for introducing me. And just thank you, Sue, for being in my life. Thank you so much. How you doing? I know you've been through a lot of rough stuff when it comes to, the body aching and some medical stuff. I know you went through with your knees and everything else. How are you doing? I know we keep saying we got to reconnect. And I have to be more forthright with that because we say these things that don't really mean it, or we say that we mean it but don't do it, which is me with the latter. I have to be more stringent, not stringent, but I have to be more dogmatic when it comes to that. Ooh wee. So there we go. Good to see you, Sue. So, and everybody coming through, I appreciate it more than you know. Let's see. So let me see. One of the things I've been drinking a lot, which helps me to dehydrate outside of water, is Gatorade. So Gatorade's been working well for me. In fact, I got to get some more. It actually works for me because the doctor was saying, okay, you got to drink more water and also Gatorade, or combine the two, which I've been doing. And that keeps you, keeps you dehydrated. So from dehydration, I should say, you don't to to stay hydrated. I put it like that, which is the main thing. And again, I'm being an obedient patient, listening to my doctors, and not trying to get belligerent. I have a doctor's appointment this month with my general practitioner, so I'm still there. I'm working on my health. What's up, Dr. Al Greer? Says, good morning, afternoons. I don't know what the hell I am. Good afternoon, Mr. Base. How you doing, Dr. Al Greer? Good to hear from you, man. How you doing? We had spoken recently earlier in the month earlier in the week. See, that's what happens when you don't sleep. You sleep your ass off. So take two. So I was talking to Al Greer earlier this week, and so it's always good to reconnect. Again, what I was talking before about contemporaries of people in radio. There you go. So it's always good to have that. Let's see. What we got here? Hey, what's up? What's up? Al Greer, how you doing? You're well. Good to read. Good to read. What's up, Jed? My man from the Bay. How you doing? Barbara Jean took my word. Afterthought. Same day seems rough. Just wanted to say, please talk more shop. That interview inspires people like me who are uncomfortable with sound of voice. Thank you, Jed. Talking about the interview I did with Gene Sparrow on Friday for CBI. Let me say this, obviously from my perspective. Radio to me will be magic. Magic. I had no other word for it. I can, and I will elaborate. It's a magical form when you let your imagination run wild or feel comfortable. And so for me, loving radio at 6 years old, after I realized I was not going to play basketball, after I realized that, radio became more realistic goal for myself. And not just people saying I have a good voice. My thing was, will my voice be interesting to others? Anybody have a good speaking voice or talking voice or people on the radio, but what's behind the voice is the question. At least that's what I thought. And like I said to Gene, the way I speak now to you and others in here, that's how I sounded as a 13-year-old growing up and everything else. But when I executed it and to speak, it sounded like choppy day-old egg salad. It was just disgusting to me. And I didn't like the way I sounded. I didn't like the way anything came out, and just have to go through that. It's like vocal growing pains for me. And that's how I felt. So eventually, when you do feel comfortable and you do realize that, hey, man, this is the only voice you have, make it work to your advantage. And then that's where you go from there. It takes a lot to go through, but you eventually get there in time. I still have an unopened canister of Gatorade and some left in an open canister. Oh, yeah. Well, what you said about Gatorade real quick, and I'll go back to my point about radio. I said, Cool Blue or Blue Cherry in the Blue family there. Those are my favorite Gatorades of all time. Those are the two I can mess with, or I can F with, as the young people say. Great finish, great, fantastic taste. And so it's become part of my life now. The cupboard is bare. The refrigerator, the fridge is bare. I don't have any Gatorade, but I will get some soon. Let's see. Barbara Jean, of course, at Dr. Al Greer. As Greer. And you know what? The one thing about Barbara Jean, that she'll support you. So once again, Al Greer being on here, he has his really great show, slow jam show called Bedtime Stories. And I'll jump on his live to show him some love and support. And Barbara Jean is there because I'm starting to believe that Barbara Jean does not sleep. I'm not talking about vampirism here. I'm not talking about her being a vampire. What I'm saying is that I don't think, Barbara Jean, I don't think you sleep. I really don't, because this is not a slam to you. You just active. So on social media, she's on the morning show in the comment section. Was it Rufus Williams? I'm familiar with brother. Was it Rufus Williams on WVON? Him, and then Cleopatra doing the midday stuff, like your millennial stuff, and then uh Matt McGill. But then I noticed that Barbara Jean would be on the comment section with Jesse Jackson Jr. I caught that. And then later on that night, she'll be on in the comment section with Al Greer. Or depending on what day I am, when I'm on from Wednesdays or Friday noon, she'll be in there too. So you don't sleep. I don't know how you do. You don't sleep, and you need your sleep. You're you're a seasoned person, and seasoned people need their they need to call hogs. They need their rest. I don't know how you do it. It's a testimony to you, Barbara Jean, but goddamn you, how you do it, but you sleep your ass off. Okay, getting back to radio when I was talking about when Jed had typed. Embrace your voice. This is what I was teaching my students while I was at Illinois Media School, for example. Even going back to when I was teaching at my alma mater, Columbia College, Chicago. I went back in 2000. Embrace your voice. You may not like the way you sound, because again, when you hear it back on a tape or whatever, or video nowadays, you may not like the way you sound, but that's how people hear you. So you got to get in touch with that and make that a cohesive unit. The two of you must exist. And I had this conversation with you guys before. So being in radio, we always made fun of the 1950s jock style or 60s. Don't get me wrong, it was a glorious time for radio when disc jockeys were, just jocking the hits, as they still do. But back then, it was a certain magic to it. I'm not taking anything away from today's personalities, if you want to call it that. But man, when I go back and hear the older cats, oh yeah, WLS or WVO. I mean, they had a whole different vibe going. WVO didn't sound like that, but you get my drift. They had their own sound. They were very mellow, very smooth. Going back to Good Guys, in that time about Purvis Span, of course, and oh my God, it's just it blows you away. Herb Kent, I go on, and it is all these people. I mean, it's amazing the talent pool that went to that radio station or radio station in general. And so my thing is this to Jed and other people: embrace your voice, embrace it, because what you say is important. Somebody is going to listen to you. You may not think that way, but there's somebody out there that will listen. It doesn't have to be really in radio, just in life in general. Somebody will take the time out to listen to a Jed when Jed parts his mouth about certain things. Exactly. So don't be scared. Being scared is okay, because you can channel that energy into something positive. You can work it to what you need to accomplish with. Don't be scared of being scared. Take that, rechannel it, and make it into something that will work for you. I can't. I wouldn't even talk about it if it didn't happen to me. Because if I can do it, you can do it. That's always been my motto. Let's see, Barbara Jean. By the way, I listened to the morning show, then moved to other radio stations until it's time for Reverend Al Sharpton. Okay. That's right. Sure, I love Reverend Al. And then also then JJ Jr., followed by RMU, and then ending with bedtime. Well, who's RMU? Yeah, what's RMU stand for? I'm not familiar with the acronym. And then he got bedtime story. See what I mean? You're all over the place. That's a lot of radio listening. It really is. I don't begrudge you with that. Now, do you eat between these radio shows? Do you get something to drink? Do you go to the bathroom? What do you do? What do you do? Oh, Roland Martin on Filter. Oh, Big Mouth. Okay, cool. And I say that I love it. I met him literally in passing. I remember I was at WVON. This is when they were on 87th Street. I think this is when. Okay, so at the time, Roland was on mornings. It was a great lineup at that time. She had Roland in mornings, Santita Jackson middays, and the governor, Cliff Kelly doing afternoon drive, and then Art Sims after him. I think it's one of the strongest lineups they've had in a long time. I'm very biased, of course. I know each one of them outside of I don't know Roland, but everybody else I know. But yeah, that was great. And I live with him in Paris. I think this is when Roland was on his way to CNN. I could be wrong. There was nothing like the timelines get shipped. But I literally say, "What's up, man?" And he said, "What's up?" I think it was packing. So that's all about it. But yeah, he's went on to, of course, social media like all of us have, and congratulations to him for doing what he's doing. Let's see as we continue on here. Hey, what's up, Ken Wellington? Is a hello, Professor Base and friends. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. How was your? Did you celebrate the fourth? How was it? Barbara Jean, the Black Star Network. I haven't had food to eat yet. See what I mean? All that audio listening, all that radio listening and stuff there, and online stuff. You got to eat. What's up, Enova? Hey, what's up, N? Good afternoon, Chris and Base Nation. How you doing, N? Thank you for being here. So I know, of course, you can throw in the menu of what you guys were fixing. I know you guys were grilling something. I know you and your brother Mark, you, Chef Enova, and her brother Chef Mark. I knew you were good. I knew y'all threw down yesterday, so you're eating the leftovers. So what did you two grill yesterday for, the fourth and stuff like that? There. Let's see. I used to see Roland Martin at Rainbow Push on Saturday morning. See that? See. Barbara Jean, Enova Ingram, Omar Montgomery, Lisa E. I'm not forgetting somebody else. And my cousin Patrice Brazil. Five. Five people. They know everybody. Literally. I'm not exaggerating. Because I talk to these people. If I haven't talked to them, I see what they typed on here in the comment section. Know everybody. And that's how I learn. Also, Ken, now this is a reasonable time. I can chime in. Man, LOL. Yeah, man. Yeah, and once again, I thank you for that because again, making the move to Fridays at 4 p.m. is a lifesaver. I really appreciate it, and it's a sweet spot. And I was talking to my guru Lee Michaels about it because on the East Coast it's 5 o'clock, mid here in Central Time, of course, is 4. And it's 2 o'clock West Coast, and so everybody along the way from coast to coast pretty much up. So yeah, I'm very happy to be there. And once again, reminded, this is just for Saturday, just for today, because I wasn't on yesterday because of the holiday season. But yeah, I'm feeling the 4 o'clock dot. Let's see. Was it Barbara Jean? Patrice was a co-worker. Yeah, and a matter of fact, my cousin Patrice was over here yesterday to visit my mom and me, so we got a chance to see her. We caught up. The last time we saw Patrice was at my Uncle Robert's memorial service a few weeks back. So it was nice to see her in those circumstances. I know it's still rough. And also my Uncle Robert's partner, Lynette. So they both were here yesterday. It was nice catching up. We sat at the dinner table, telling stories, regaling each other with various stories. And it was just nice to be in their presence once again. It was very cool. Got to do it more often. And got to stick with it. Got to do it more often. Let's see. All right, here we go with the get down. Dinner menu: barbecue chicken leg quarters and shrimp Alfredo fettuccine. Let's see, with steamed broccoli, homemade lemonade. Again for the cheap seats. The dinner menu: barbecue chicken leg quarters with shrimp Alfredo fettuccine with steamed broccoli, homemade lemonade. That's right. Thank you for sharing. You and your brother, Mark. I deeply appreciate that. And like I said before, let me put out into the universe because it would be so cool. And of course, I will pay out of my pocket for Ann and Mark to do this. If we had an event and asked the audience to pick a particular menu and menu items for Innova and Mark to cook, and we had a place to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat. Now, this is my idea just now, the top of my brown dome. I had to check with Innova and Mark to see if they want to do it or not, but we'll see in the future. They may not, because I know Innova. I know Innova gets very feisty. I love Innova. She gets very feisty sometimes. She will tell you to go straight to hell, no gasoline draws on. That's just how she operates. So she may tell me to do the exact same thing. I'm not cooking stuff, not for you, Negro, and things like that. I can get cussed out by, look, as I said before, I've known Innova since we were literally like 5 years old, going back to kindergarten, 5 or 6 years old. So some people are allowed to cuss me out, and I'll go along with it. Again, once again, for the record, Innova and Barbara Jean are seasoned people. Innova herself is a seasoned goddess. She told me so. But what do you think? I think that's a cool idea, especially getting people together, breaking bread, sharing ideas in person, not just doing this, but this is cool. It'll be much cooler if we all got together as human beings used to do and still do. But we got to make it, we have to make it real. So that's all it is. So yeah, this is the idea. Let's see here. But again, it was just the whole barbecuing experience was okay. As I said before, I have not barbecued in 10 years, and it's been a minute. So for me, I had to really pace myself, and this old adage of riding the bike, you get back on it and you take your time. So let's see. So we got two grills. We have a classic Weber grill, and then Tiffany and Bobby got this other grill. I forgot the name of it, but they got a bigger grill with no smoker, and you put the smoke pellets on the side or chip wood, depending on it, cherry wood or whatever wood you would use to help smoke and put flavor into what you're barbecuing. So I'm on the Weber, and I kept messing up. And I'm like, I'm looking right at this grill, and it just keeps burning so damn quick. So I'm talking to my sister about it, and we're going back and forth on the whole thing. And I'm burning stuff up like I can't cook a damn thing, and I was really getting frustrated. I see here in front, I was PO'd, I was pissed the hell off. So she mentioned about it being an up to date Weber. So in my mind, once again, I haven't barbecued in years. The last barbecue I had grill wise was a charbroil. So the charbroil was about this big. It wasn't like a smaller one. It was like a big version of it with the lid you could lift up, and it had of course the grate, the grill to put on, but it had 3 levels, so you could put it on level close to the charcoal, then mid or high above it, so you can control the temperature of the whole thing. Let's see. Oh, did you go there? Al Greer, Soul Vegan on 75th Indiana. Passed by it for years, never been there. But I know people swear by it. So did you go to Soul Vegan there? Yeah, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind trying that. Soul Vegan. Once again, new experiences and trying new things. Don't harp on things that you've been comfortable with. Try to get out of your comfort zone and try different things. And I have to write it down because I'm old. Yeah, I know Innova and Barbara Jean ain't old. My ass is old. So there you go. So I gotta write stuff down before I forget. So that's what I do. So I gotta start doing that. But yeah, it was a daunting task at first with the whole barbecue, but eventually was able to get this. So okay, so my sister's family, my brother-in-law and my niece and nephew, they don't eat pork. And as what Al agrees to type on here, no pork on my fork. So that's how my sister's family don't eat no pork. My mom does. So we would give mom her St. Louis ribs, and she wanted me to prepare it. So Tiffany prepared it by seasoning, take the membrane off, all that stuff on the ribs, and I barbecued it. So it was a tag team event. So this time I kept looking at the grill, changed the temperature because it burned out so very fast. So once again, these new versions, for me, I didn't need that much barbecue. Didn't need that much coals, I should say. So not that much coals in it, not that much lighter fluid, and then go from there. Some people like to put damn near the whole bag of charcoal, and then all the lighter fluid. Shoo, that's a fire, that type of thing. So at least once I got the assignment, I was able to do well. I was telling my mom yesterday, she could thank me because the ribs turned out great. Her ribs did. And so there you go. So Bobby had fixed like the beef ribs and some more chicken. I did the chicken too. I did chicken legs and wings, and they turned out well too. So the hot dogs and bratwurst. My mom loves bratwurst, so there you go. Let's see. Barbara Jean, I got to spend time on 75th Soul Vegan, Brown Sugar Bakery, and Lem's. Oh yeah, classic places are, especially Lem's. My God, Lem's. I remember one time I was watching one of these viral videos, and this guy from out of town, and he had this brother that was here. I guess he was his. Um, I don't know. I guess he was his ghetto uh, tour guide because they went to Harold's, the one on like 100 something and Halsted, the exact address, like something like that, and then they went to Lem's in the videos I was watching. So I'm checking them out, and the guy, the guy that's in charge of it was, whatever, he just loved the fact that they were at Lem's. They were not allowed to come in and film. They probably were cussed out, and so they had hot links, ribs, and rib tips. All this food, so they're eating it on the car hood at this time. Hold on, we got Ken. I think you got it. Yeah, 103rd and Halsted. It was further south. I know which one you're talking about. That's a good one too. There's another one. I want to like 120 for Halsted. It has a drive-through. If they still had it, I used to go to that one when I used to work in Harvey. And maybe it was further than that because sometimes I'm trying to look at the whole thing. When I used to work in Harvey, I used to get off at midnight and they were still open, and there was a drive-through Harold's. It was on Halsted Street, but I can't remember the number at this point. But the one you got right there, 130 Halsted. Oh yeah, Doc. Yeah, that's legendary. They know how to get down. So the guy and the ghetto co-host, he wasn't ghetto, but you need a ghetto guy because you're not familiar with the area and get your ass kicked. So they're both sitting on, not sitting, but they're eating on the hood of a car with all this food. And so the guy almost has an orgasm. Not the co-host, but the main host. So he's like, "Oh, this rib tip, it is so delicious. I'm going, look at the beautiful bark on it." Okay, now I don't say bark when I eat barbecue. We just eat it. I guess they had to describe. Some people get on these viral videos with food. Got to describe. I know what the hell it is. To tell me how good it tastes. You're gonna go by the person. Yeah, look at the bark on this and the sauce and the, oh my god, and the marbling of fat. I'm like, dude, just eat the thing. Eat the damn thing. So he finally did. It was like, oh, this is so good. Now here's another thing that people do on these videos. Everybody says, now I'm not exaggerating, oh, it's so good. Everybody says that shit. I mean, I get it, but good goddamn night. Everybody's, this is so good. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Right, foodgasm. Right, that's barbecue. Right. Look, so they went to again. I think Ken got it here. Right, there you go. That's it. Right, thank you, Ken. When 127 in Halstead, that's the one I'm talking about. So they did videos for those two places, the Harold's on 127th and Halstead and Lamb's on 75th Street. Now, getting to this Harold's on 127th and Halstead. So once again, the guy and the ghetto co-host. He was a good guy. Don't get me wrong. He like he came from Logan Square, but don't get me wrong. I mean, he wasn't like, once again, you need a Chicago guy to put it like that. So it was like, we ordered some chicken here. We got and it's what do you say? It's fried in beef fat. Oh, there you go. No wonder it's so damn good. It's fried in beef fat. Cholesterol, here we come. Cholesterol rising, here we come. So you know what you're getting into. You get to food like this. I ain't saying anything different. So that's going on. So they got the food. I think they got like bucket of wings and just like maybe like 20 pieces of chicken, all these various pieces and everything with, of course, mild sauce on it. So they're eating once again outside on the trunk of the car again, in the hood of the car. And the guy's like, oh, just look at this. The chicken is so hot. We just got out the front. Anyway, oh, this is going to be good because look at that mild sauce. He takes one bite. Oh, this is, what say it, boys and girls? Oh, this is so good. Everything's so good. I hate to see him as a porno star or porno actor. Oh, it feels so good. Oh my, yeah. Well, I did not want to see that at all, but yeah, if that was his main line being a porno actor, he got the job. All right, just make sure you keep humping and say, oh, good, okay? Say it's oh, good. All right, got it. And action. Oh, this is so good. I kid you not. Let's see. So once again, thank you, Ken, for reminding me. That's right. 127 Halstead. Drive through, unless they still have it or not. Drive through Harold's. Great food. We used to eat at Lem's barbecued a long time ago. And of a type. Oh, absolutely. Place is classic. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, good meat and good, delicious barbecue sauce. You can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong with it. We say, Ken, YT folks loves black barbecue for certain. LOL. Yeah, them, yeah, them YTs be, yeah. You got that right. Let's see. Okay, I thought that was Jonas. Let me go back to the first one. Okay. So, hey, Chris, a long time no see. Lions Den, what's up? Yeah, Trey, what's up, Lions Den? How you doing? It's been a long time. How are you, sir? Good to see your Simulum in the place. It's been a little bit. How are you? Thank you for being here. Absolutely. I haven't talked to you in a while. Damian D. Minor. Hey, Chris. Man, hey, Damian. Good to see you, brother. Once again, thank you for calling in. When I was doing the show on CBI with the great Gene Sparrow, that was so cool for you to call in and give your opinion and talk some shop. Stuff like that. Talk shop, Dad. That's all right. We talking barbecue? Yeah, man. Yes, we are. Let's see. Another barbecue place I was growing up with when I was a kid. So we went to Lem's. There's a place called Ribs and Bibs. Ribs and Bibs, two locations, one in Hyde Park, and then used to be one on 83rd and Jeffrey, was close to my house. You get a bucket, and once again, this is 70s, mind you, a bucket of rib tips and fries. They all put in there, all put the barbecue sauce on and everything else. Oh, yeah. Definitely game changing. But Ribs and Bibs was a really good spot back in the day. But yeah, Ribs and Bibs was a really good barbecue place. And again, for us, it was chicken because when I would be out with my friends, my boys and stuff like that, a lot of barbecue places were closed. The ones that we weren't familiar with, they were closed. So our thing was chicken, long as we got some hot food. So it was always a Harold's open somewhere when we were out there gallivanting. see. Someone treated me to ribs and bibs at Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean, did you like it? Let's see. Edible, have you tried barbecue chicken pizza? No, I have not. No, I have not. I once again talking about comfort zone. I sausage. That's me all day long. Now, over the years, I've tried sausage, onions, bell peppers, and mushrooms. I tried that like combination version. That was pretty cool. I like that. No, but I never had chicken barbecue pizza. No, I didn't have it. But see, now I gotta change it because of my health and everything else. So I gotta be careful when I going back to the whole pork thing. But I do admit that, let's see, Italian Fiesta has a great turkey sausage pizza. Their turkey sausage pizza, I highly recommend. If you're not gonna do the pork thing, the turkey sauce is on point. And I'd remind myself just to get that next time. Their turkey sausage is great, man. Let's see. Ken, let's say ribs and bills gave every customer a big red. You know what? I didn't get that. Which one you used to go to? Ken Wallington. Now I remember when I got to Kenwood in Hyde Park, they used to sell it was like a pack, not really a pack. It was oh man, it was French fries. And get a plastic brown, small plastic, not plastic, damn it, Chris, paper bag with barbecue sauce in it and a fork, and it was $1, and you were full for the rest of the damn day. You got that and a pop, and the whole meal was like $1.50. Yeah, man. That was a life changing experience for me because again, you're hungry, you're a teenager, stuff like that. If you couldn't afford any meals at Ribs and Bills or a burger or rib tips or ribs, being a high school student and also being broke, get that dollar, of course, going along with the pop, $1.50. Yeah, you were full. Let's see. You had turkey tips? Okay, turkey tips is good. You know what, Barbara Jean, I think it depends on who's preparing it and what kind of turkey tips there are, because some of those turkey tips are kind of suspect to question. I guess it depends on where you go, obviously. Oh, big red bib you meant. Okay, I didn't know that. We never got that with the big red bib. We never got those. Let's see. So I asked Barbara Jean, did she like ribs and bibs? She said yes. Very cool. Let's see. Also, Barbara Jean ties one of the conference attendees that I greeted at the airport decided to treat me and the driver to ribs and bibs at Hyde Park. All right. So you gotta take it where you can get it. So a family member purchased them. Cool. Very cool indeed. Let's see here. We'll check a couple of things before we get into it. So let's see. That's that. Check that real quick. Okay, so let's see here. So, it's always nice to find good food and then stick with that place because not too many places can be consistent with their food. A Barbara Jean purchased turkey tips in the wild, like case in point. So when I was living in Bronzeville, my daughter Mattia, when we all lived together, she recommended this place called D Rice, D-E, capital D-E, then capital R-I-C-E. One of the most consistent Chinese restaurants that I ever had takeout from. And plus, for me, if food tasted better the next day. So it wasn't like a $1 holler when you get some food and you can't eat it the rest. Like, for example, and I'll get back to my story about the rice. I cannot eat McDonald's ever. If I do, I'm not having a good time. McDonald's I don't know where you go get McDonald's at. I can't even enjoy it. It's like going back to Rapper's Delight, the macaroni sake and the chicken tastes like wood. It's disgusting. It really is. I can't. I don't. And it's obviously a franchise, but McDonald's used to taste good. Not anymore. Not the ones I've had recently, and I stopped eating it, and that's good for me. I should be eating in the first place. But if I do eat it, it's usually like a double cheeseburger nowadays and some fries. The fries are completely shot to shit. Remember, everybody, back in the day, McDonald's and McDonald's fries is good and everything else. Oh my God, hell nope. Doctor, can't do it. Can't do it. So going back to this about the rice. So my daughter recommended the Chinese place, and it was just fantastic. And unfortunately, they stopped because they were going back to China. In the universe living in right now with who is president, I don't mind them. I don't blame them going back to China. I really do. I miss them tremendously because they had the best Chinese food I ever had in my life. The years that I gave my patronage, we only had one dust up, and that was one time when they were like 2 hours late, and they were swamped with orders. Other than that, hot, fresh, consistent. Yeah, they were the best. So my new go-to place is a place on 63rd and King Drive. It's a Jamaican place, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But yeah, they like I think it's called Little Jamaica, something like that, or Jamaican Little. It is great. I should know the place. I keep ordering from them, but you just get, you see the order and reorder what you had. They have an excellent jerk lamb pasta. I kid you not. Let's see. Go back to the comment section. Barbara Jean. I wouldn't have purchased turkey tips. Yeah, turkey tips is kind of stuff. You got to be careful like that. Once again, depends on where you go. Ken, I grew up with Ringo's Barbecue under the L on East 47th Street. Okay, good. I don't think I remember that slightly on 47th Street. Okay. Let's see. Who else here? Go back to Kim Wellington. My sisters always got a bucket of mild tips. Oh, yeah. Yeah, rib tips, Doc. Innova, what is your favorite pizza place? Good question. Since I slowed down on some of the food from outside, man. Okay, so I have a few of them, but it's been a while since I've been to the establishments. The original Home Run Inn on West 31st Street. That's always my favorite. That was because of my parents took my sister and myself there. We would eat there, and then back in the day, they had what they call a par bake. So what they did was, you want a pizza to go, they par baked it half for you, and then you put the rest in the oven when you got home. Put on 350 degrees, for 15, 20 minutes. Get that fresh, gooey cheese and whatever else on the pizza, ingredients. It was a game changer. So that's one of my favorite. I haven't been there in a while. That's one of my favorite places. Giordano's in Hyde Park, another great pizza place. Fell in love with deep dish day one when I was like 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. Yeah, they have the best, to me, the best deep dish. And them and for other deep dish is like pan version. Lou Malnati's is another one. I like those as well. Now, for me, for classic thin crust, you fold and just shove in your guttle, Italian Fiesta. Those out there are my like my Mount Rushmore of pizza places. Let's see. I personally think Palomar, pizza on 63rd is the best. Chicago's sweet sauce. Yeah, you know what? Basically, on your recommendation, I'm going to write it down, Ken, and maybe you can remind me too, because I'm old, man. So I always wanted to try it. I remember a few times being in the car with my friends, or wherever I'm driving, and we'll pass by that. It's like, man, I gotta check out that place. So yeah, I'm going to check that out, man. I was willing to go in and sit down. Bring a friend of mine, go sit down in the pizzeria at 63rd there, and check it out. You and other people have always told me it's the best pizza going, and that's a great compliment because I haven't heard a bad thing about it at all. So once again, always willing to try new things and try something different, but I wouldn't mind it at all. Always good stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely try that out, Doc. So yeah, thank you for reminding me of that, Ken. Oh man, good stuff. So I was saying before earlier in the conversation about trying to eat well and trying to maintain weight loss and stuff like that. Also trying to what do you say, have an alternative lifestyle, that type of thing. Whatever that means. At one point I remember I was reading it when I was younger about alternative lifestyles. I'm not trying to change my sexuality. But I was a kid, I didn't know any better. So I was like, come on, man. Get it together, stupid. Let's see. Going back to the peanut gallery here. Growing up, it used to be Rossi's Pizza. Oh my, that's right. On 87th Street, on 87th Stony, right. Deep dish for me is Giordano's. I like Reggio's Pizza too. Yeah, Reggio still has one on 87th and Dan Ryan. Do they still have one on there? Because it's our area now because we live kind of close to each other now. But I believe there's still a Reggio's on 87th and Dan Ryan. There used to be one on 79th Street, east west, when you get too close to Cottage Grove. I remember that because they used to have actually a pizzeria there and restaurant. Let's see. My family and I have been eating Palermo's pizza on 63rd for over 40 years. Oh man, so you actually grew up with that pizza. I don't blame you a bit. Sure, that's all right there. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, man. And like I said, when you find those good foods, good places, stick with it. They deliver all the time. Okay, so Entice, they moved to a new location on Cottage Grove. They did? I'm way out of touch. Okay, thank you for giving me the update. Okay, the radio's on 87 is closed. Well, thank you for the update. That's what I was saying. The last time I've been there, it's been a while. The one on 87. So thank you for the correction. So as Ed said, they moved to a new location on so radio's closed, right? And then Innovative Type, they moved to a new location on Cottage Grove. Interesting. Okay. Oh man, there was this pizza joint back in the day. Oh, we have these fat moments. I believe me, I don't mind. I don't mind talking about it at all. I be rock and roll. So there was a place, I want to say it was on Halsted, called, I think it was Nancy Space Age Pizza. I remember the name because I was over a friend's house. We had it was like maybe 5 or 6 of us. It were all guys, and we were youngsters, and we had we went up to my man's for a slumber party. So about like 9, 10, 11, in that age range. And so I remember the place that you got the pizza from. He got it from Nancy's Space Age Pizza on Halsted. Oh my man. That made no sense. They would have like a super family pizza, which was the size of a UFO. And it was sausage, and we got down to get down. It was so much fun. Of course, we had pizza that night, and then pizza again for breakfast, and then took some home. But it was a Nancy Space Age Pizza. I remember going back years later when I was an adult with my family, and I think they got that huge UFO pizza, but they were good. What's sad is that sometimes we don't support our own Black businesses. I think sometimes they get it. I think with certain businesses nowadays, because social media, I think they have more of a lifespan. But for me, like real quick, there was this place on 79th Street. I grew up on 79th Street. I grew up in South Shore. It was a 79th, like around 79th to Crandon and right away. I mean, like around Jeffrey. It was called the Creamery, and the Cream was an ice cream place. We supported them all we could. When I found out that the owner was also a crossing guard when I was a student in grammar school at J.A. Neal, which is how I met Annabelle. We were students there. He was also the owner of the Creamery. And I remember, I think we supported them. We had our birthday parties there. We went there anytime we went for ice cream. We went there all the time. And one day he says, "I got to shut down. I'm closing." It broke my heart. He said, "Nobody's coming here." Let's see. Thank you, kid. See, I know Ken would know. Thank you so much. Yeah, Nancy Space Age Pizza was on 60. Okay, was 81st Ashland. Thank you for the correction. I knew the two brothers owners, Ed and Mac, personally. Oh my God! Well, I know you had some of that pizza. That is. I'm not trying to get nasty on that, but no, I'm glad. I'm glad you got some, Doc. 'Cause that pizza was out of here. I mean, and Space Age was correct. The name was perfect because you when you first take a bite of that pizza, it was great. Let's see. Worst pizza place for me, Little Caesars and Pizza Butt. I call it Pizza Butt. Pizza Hut. Too greasy. Yes, I totally agree. Some of the nastiest pizza. It's not even pizza. It's just there. It's just whatever you want on cardboard. Let's see. I remember California Pizza Kitchen was it in Water Tower. Let's see, I had pineapple and ham pizza. Never had that. Okay, I know we used to have a place locally back when I was growing up in South Shore, Pizza Platter. It was like on 79th and Essex. And I worked there briefly, but I had to stop working there because I was just too tired. I got to the point where I worked, let's see, Fridays and Saturdays from like, it was like, no, hold on a second. No, okay, Fridays it was like 6 to midnight. And then I worked 2 p.m. to midnight on Saturdays. Don't get me wrong, it was nice money. It was all cash. The owner was nice, but I miss hanging out with my crew. And I was dating my soon to be wife at the time. So yeah, it was kind of my love life. So I, I took a few checks. The money was great, but yeah. And I remember a couple of officers, cops, had come by one time and was sitting there, I guess, on their break, and the boss had fixed them pizza with pineapple on it. The first time I saw pineapple on pizza before. So yeah, it is a thing. But yeah, when some people just call it whatever pizza, like I said, like Pizza Butt, it's disgusting. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes your palate changes because as a kid, well, pizza, you start salivating. I know I did. And so I remember one of my birthday celebrations, we went to the Pizza Hut that was around in the Gold Coast area. And I guess supposed to make it or look or sound. It was some disgusting pizza. I never looked back after that. And because once I was a teenager, I think I was like 12, 13, whatever. I think about 13, and I realized this pizza sucks. So I stopped with that and started to gear towards Giordano's about once I got to 13. And then you go from there. But again, because I think good food is hard to find, you hang on those places. Like Ken said, he knew these people at Space Age, knew Nancy Space Age, knew the brother owners, Ed and Mac personally, right there on 81st and Ashland. I keep saying Halster, but that's right, 81st and Ashland. That's right. Good stuff to be associated with. And that's how we should support our businesses. So like I said, uh, today, if you're able to have a black owned business, you can get some traction. I don't know how long it will last, but you'll get some traction on social media because social media has been proven that you can change a person's business by going viral with a video. You could be a social media influencer, and then that person puts you on game. Yeah, it changes everything. Let's see. I prefer pork sausage and cheese on my pizza. I agree. I agree. And I usually do it from time to time myself. But once again, I have to pace myself. But again, for me, as a great alternative, Italian Fiesta, their turkey sausage is I can rock and roll with that. Barbara Jean, we used to purchase broccoli and spinach pizza from Sabara. Oh, woo! All right. Broccoli and spinach pizza. God bless your ministries. Good night. Mm. Do you remember White Shrimp Place on 76th Street? Oh, yes. Yeah, we had one on 39th, once again, on 39th and Essex. Then there was one on 76 off of Yates. That was the one we used to go to. Yeah, I liked shrimp when I was a kid, but I developed the fact that I couldn't eat anymore because I got allergic to it. I got older, but yes, white shrimps. White shrimp, we would go there. Of course, my mom and dad would pick it up. My mom told the story of when my dad got drunk and he went in to order from White's Shrimp and got into an argument with this other drunk person that was inside trying to have patronage with a White Shrimp, and they both stepped outside. And it's nothing more funnier to see two drunk people fight. It didn't bode well, but yeah, no punches were thrown. Just talking a lot of yakety yak. Oh man, so there you go with that. He is the executive director of Crisis Intervention / Victims Advocate at Solutions and Resources. He has committed his life to definitely provide immediate comfort, aid, assist families, individuals, and communities in the wake of violence and traumatic acts. The man who will never let Chicago down. Please welcome back to BaseLine. I know it's been a minute, but it's good to see the brother back here, Pastor Jonathan Price. How you doing, brother?
Good to see you as well, man. Good to be catch up
it's
with
been
you.
a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, I see you in the news all the time. I see you, doing your thing, and it's always great to have you do your thing because now I got to the point where I cannot see anybody else do it. No offense to anybody else, but you have become the go-to source for these traumatic events, unfortunately. But you have become the rock where people need. So once again, thank you for what you do.
It's an honor to serve, man. It's an honor to serve.
I know. Thank you so much. The floor is yours, sir. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. I forgot the protocol.
All right. I know, right?
Well, there have been, I think, 46 so far this weekend. People shot. I know that's not a stat that I have quite yet, but July to date, there would be shot and killed 12, shot and wounded 64, total shot 76 with 13 homicides, and that's July to date, and it's the 5th. And we have shot and killed this week, 12, shot and killed, shot and wounded 70, total shot 82, with 14 homicides. So 82 people shot this week. Year to date, 178 with killed, with 741 shot and wounded, and 919 shot total, with 212 homicides. 212 people lost their lives.
Let's see. Before we get into depth, Edward says, "Good evening, Pastor Price. You are a beautiful blessing to our community."
Thank you. Amen.
I hear you. Omar says, "Hello, Pastor Price. Happy 4th of July to you."
Thank you.
And Kim Wellington, "Hello, Pastor Donovan. Thank you in your endeavors, kind sir."
Thank you.
Donovan, Pastor, you had typed on your Facebook page 15 hours ago. It's been a minute, but I want you to elaborate because I always catch you on that and giving us updates on how you feel, what, and where you are in your life. You typed another child, my God, help us. And you type in bold letters, capital letters, please pray for this family. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Well, there was a 16-year-old girl shot and killed last night. She was at Avalon Park, the South Side, and so I went and prayed with her family outside. I was lucky enough to pray with her family outside the hospital, and just that experience going, seeing what was going on at the park, and then going to the hospital and finding them outside. Just trying to figure out, just trying to figure out life right then, and trying to cope with everything. And so that's lately I put a lot of my initial reactions and stuff that's in my head on Facebook, so that people can kind of walk along with me as they pray.
Well, it's a good idea because, and we had a conversation before, I remember you said I'm going to have more of a social media presence going into Facebook and other social media outlets, let everybody know what you are doing. And I think it does give more light to what you're doing, because everybody on social media, everybody got a phone or device or wherever they are. And as soon as they see it, they may skip past it, but they know you're there. And so I think that's the most important thing, that you're out there doing it. Like I said before, I'll catch you on various news sites like CBS News 7 or CBS News, or not CBS News 2, and sometimes 5 and 7, depending on the news cycle itself, and WGN or Fox. So I think, again, your presence has been very well touted. And again, when to the point where holding press conferences now, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a big event, and they'll call me, and I'll just say what happened, because I have a different perspective, because I was a part of the scenes to a certain degree, and so especially with the shooting the other night, it was the mass shooting. I was blessed to be there and help out during that, in the aftermath, the immediate aftermath of the shooting at Artez restaurant.
It seems like and again, we know it's not going anywhere, but as we said before, at least the numbers are going down, which is a good relief. It's nice to know that people do feel safe. They say where they were, say, 5 or 6 years ago. So there is some sort of indentation that it's not going to go anywhere when it comes to violence. We know that up front. But I think if people understand what goes into it, and the men and women that are on the streets who are trying to get peace or some form of peace to citizens, I think that it would do them due diligently to understand. And I know once again, case by case basis, but if you're a citizen of the city, I think you should research that.
Yeah. It's important to to have a feeling of safety, but it's difficult. But people should be just aware of their surroundings and aware of what can happen. And a lot of people are of the mindset it can't happen here, and there's certain safety, but then as in River North, then it happens.
Exactly. And the story you're referring to, 4 people were killed, 14 others were wounded in a drive-by mass shooting outside of the Artist Restaurant Lounge in Chicago's River North neighborhood on Wednesday night. Chicago police said around 11 p.m. a dark vehicle drove past the building in the 300 block of West Chicago Avenue, where 3 people from the side were fired shots into the crowd of people standing on the sidewalk. I was watching CBS, and they were showing footage they had blurted out of people shooting. You saw the fire, the lights coming from that area that they blurred out. You saw people running for the L train and stuff like that, and that type of area. And again, conversation-wise, we talked about this before, when people say it's not supposed to happen here. Then what exactly do you mean when you say things like that? When they say things like that?
Well, they think they've paid a lot of money for an area. They see folks mainly that look like them, perhaps, or they it hasn't happened before very much in that area or ever in a certain area, and so they believe that that's a safe zone. But in today's society, to me, in my humble opinion, as they say, I would think that people would know that it can happen at any time, anywhere. I said on Channel 7 just a few moments ago that that it is as long as evil exists and as long as certain people have guns, then it's the angry reaction. They're going to use those guns, and so it saddens me when people want to stay in bliss, and then it happens, and they're all a certain way about it, and it has certain connotations when you say, I didn't think it could happen here. If It's a city with preponderance of shootings and et cetera, you of the belief that it's for them, by them, and that's fine. As long as it stays there, then it's fine.
Right.
And that's definitely not correct.
But do you think the reason why certain people say it's not supposed to happen here is a false sense of security?
Yeah. It's a false sense of security, and to say it's not supposed to happen here. I think it implies certain stuff. It's not supposed to happen anywhere.
Correct.
But it does happen, and
right.
Like I said, evil and is allowed to travel, and so it does, and it happens here, it happens there. It may happen, to a great extent by a certain segment of the population in terms of perpetrators. Now that may be a thing. But the fact of the matter is, don't think you're in a safety zone, and at least not be praying, thank you that I am thus far.
No, and once again, it amazes me because, again, I think is like you just said, and I was hoping to get your take on it, and you did, from the standpoint of a false sense of security. And last I checked, evil has no boundaries of zip codes. They don't. Okay, we won't go over here because they pay so much in their tax bracket. No, evil. No, I won't go over there. I'll stay over here. No, evil is evil. It's everywhere it is. So I think, again, of course, you don't want evil no matter where you are, no matter who you are. Who wants to embrace that? Unless they're a Satan worshiper or something like that. Other than that, they don't want it. So I think, again, some of us become selfish, and we don't think about other people's plight. Why should it? Like, hey, my fault. That because they're going through that because their escalation of violence is high over there. Ain't going to happen here because I pay my taxes and make sure that it doesn't. I just think, again, to understand wherever it is the basic. When people don't want to understand, it becomes a problem to me.
Absolutely, and I don't think as I go to and fro, hither and yon, I maybe because my eyes are a little wider as a result of what I've been doing for the past 9-10 years. But the fact of the matter is, I always tell people, look at the way we look at each other in the grocery store. Look at the way how important it is to get one car length or get to the gas pump first. We can solve that. Then we can begin to think about this. But don't get mad if you're meat burns because your charcoals are too hot. If the charcoals are hot, then you
Yes.
need to be careful with the other levels of the grill in general.
Preach.
And we're living in a atmosphere, a surrounding, an aura of evil and ill will. And so, when it comes your way, then you hopefully you've prepared for it, or at least thought about it, and maybe even prayed for somebody else who wasn't as lucky as you yesterday. But you're like, ignore them until it happens to you. And then it's, you deserve a certain level of, you deserve prayers and sorrow and empathy that you weren't aware existed yesterday.
Once again, you said from up to 9 years experience, going on a decade of what you've been doing to help families and to assist and look at these horrific crimes that have happened over time and continue to happen. From your expertise, and I know it's a long shot, but I'm going to put you on the spot anyway. Where do you see the percentage of crime, say, in 10 years in Chicago? If you had to, from your experience, obviously, and take a guess.
Well, I think that it definitely will have touched everybody, every community.
Yeah.
I think that the preponderance will still be, in some of the underserved communities. But the fact that it will have spread out, and at least happened once or twice in the places that it absolutely can't happen. And so hopefully by then, maybe somebody will have enough sense to realize that, maybe if I cared about somebody other than myself, then, there's another level to this, that's unseen, so to speak. And until we, respond to that level, then we're forced to deal with this level. Every cloud can't have a silver lining, but did you ever try to put one in there? Every cloud can't have a silver lining, so you just like threw away that box of silver linings that you had in the garage.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you're on to something, because again, like you said, for it to spread, and you're right, because it's continuing to it's spreading now. And so you got to take consideration between now and say 5, 10 years, however years you want to look at it, it continues to spread like wildfire, or it's like in progressional states. It's spreading here and spreading there, and it's going in that direction and down the street. So again, going back to awareness, I think it's just, again, it behoove you to just be aware. To just be aware. And again, living in some form of box or safety net or wherever you think so. Like, I mean, it can happen anywhere. And just the fact that, again, you don't want it to spread, or the tentacles to spread to your house or your home or your babies or you even. So, you don't want it to happen, but it's a possibility it could. And so I'm not trying to scare people, but I just talking about reality. And so again, from my years of covering news and violence and stories like that, it just grew and grew and grew. And there was no percent of the standpoint of it slowing down. It just kept on getting wider and wider and bigger. So the process of the work you do and what the police, women and men are doing out there, it could be a thankless job. I think in some degrees it's a thankless job, but please understand that they can leave their homes and not come home tonight or that day. Right. That's what they signed up for, to protect us.
And today I went and prayed with some people Some people who were saying they were going out to pray in an affluent area, about a mile straight down from where the mass shooting, artist restaurant shooting happened. Straight down. I mean, like, hollering distance, as black folks say. And their attitude, I've never seen what I consider this to be such an evil attitude toward, can I pray for you? Like one guy who was saying to people, can I pray for you? Or, do you know somebody that's sick? He was almost chasing after him, trying to get him to pray. And they were like, giving the meat, the stink eye as they walk past and try to ignore and try to almost walk in the street and get hit by a car to stay away from them. And I thought to myself, so one of the biggest mass shootings possibly in Chicago's history happened a mile from where we're standing, and you can't find anything to pray about.
Right.
Then, on certain levels, then what should happen to you to get you to get it?
Right. Right. You don't want, like I said before, you don't want it to get to you. Like you and I always around springtime, around Easter, talk about movies and songs, dealing with God and Christ, things like that. And to me, it comes to mind of the 10 Commandments. Of course, with Charlton Heston and Yul Brynner. And he said he did not get the message until he hit his own home with his son, and the firstborn being killed in every household, and his son was killed. And he warned him, me and Moses. He didn't want to hear it. And then, not only did he not get it then, they're going to wage war on the Israelites that was trying to, get through to another location, try to go through the Red Sea and everything else. So I know some people are just completely hard-headed and don't get it. They're LOL or DOD. They're dangling on dumb with the DOD part. I mean, they just never want to get it because they feel it doesn't know, it's not supposed to happen to them.
Right. That'll never happen to me in the city of 2-3 million folks. Even though it just happened down the street. Right. Like a bullet won't fly. In a certain direction. When a bullet gets to your neighborhood, it's just gonna hit the ground like Deputy Drew Belong's bullets. Or included in your expensive rent. Included in your super expensive rent is a force field that over the neighborhood as well. Or
what was that scene? Well, Tales from the Hood, the first one. There was a scene with a Crazy K, and he's been experimented on. And then one of the experiments was he was actually talking to the people he shot, all the victims he shot. Him being a gang member, and one was like, "Man, that's effed up what you did, man." He shows his head, being blown out of proportion. It's effed up what you did to me, man. So then this one little girl was like, "Well, what about me?" She's like, I say about 8 years old. "What about me? I ain't doing anything. A bully got no name on it." So again, it's like you don't want to get it.
Right. It's too horrible to get. Or where are you sitting in
amazing
in society if you're you had this attitude about something that's pervasive, and it's just a sad overall state of things.
Yeah, it always is. Like I said before, we definitely appreciate it. Like I said before, I'm sorry that you have not been on. I had a lot of technical issues, but I got a chance to, rectify it, and you're back here, and I deeply appreciate you hanging on with me. And again, I thought about you because again, let's see. So I was talking about before you got on, we were talking about barbecuing and chicken and stuff like that. And I know, of course, you're a big fan of Harold. Did you get some barbecue yesterday, or how did
Yeah. My brother, he as black folks say, he called himself barbecuing.
Okay.
And just because you put it on the grill does not mean
Would you preach these people? Preach, man. I'm telling you, that's the whole. It's a whole thing. That's a skill set to have to barbecue.
And so he put some turkey burgers and some sausages. He had jerk sausages, though. That was turkey jerk sausages.
Never heard of that one.
You know, but I pulled out my inner white boy and brought some beer brats.
Good for you.
And everybody was shocked at him. They was like, "Yes." Everybody was like, "What is this? These been beer brats is such and such." Like brats, good, You know,
yes.
I had to break out my Canada. You know.
Oh man.
So we did that, and I got a chance. I sat outside, you know, for a little while, and then just you know, still trying to put my head back on key from the other day,
right?
You know, and then the little girl last night, and I did a mass shooting last night. I've done 3 mass shootings this weekend so far, and it's you know, so it's still trying to really center myself,
right?
And you know, so it was good to, you know, chill for a little while and play with my nephew and just you know spend some time with family. I just come from a funeral in Alabama. I drove down there. It's the first time I ever drove long distance. You know, not by myself, and so went down there, and the family, you know, unit down there, and everything was just a massively great experience. Great experience for me, and a you know, getaway, and I'm sure it's great. And I'm gonna try to take a couple of days away, you know, just in a hotel or something downtown.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday or the next day.
Yeah, it's staycation. Yeah, do that, doctor. We need you when your battery's charged. You know, you mentioned about having beer brats. I remember years ago, I used to go to the Food Basket to shop, and they used to have sales all the time. So they would sell the Johnsonville brats like 2 for $5. So I would get like, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever it was. And I get many as I could in the cart so I could stock up. And the guy that worked said, "You're the only one that buys these." I was like, "Yeah, man, they're good." Because I had come from Wisconsin, literally, and had one when I was working at LS. And that changed the game completely. So I got back home looking for Johnsonville, found them, then went from there. So I never forget, Donovan, I'm in line, and the brother looked over my shoulder, was like, "Hey man, what you got over there? First of all, your breath's too hot to lean over somebody like that." I said, "Those are Johnsonville bratwursts. They look like hot links." God damn it, there ain't no hot links, man. They're bratwursts, whole different thing. So
get out.
Thank you. So I come back next 2 or 3 weeks later, whatever it was, next month, because I saw the sale. Came back, dude, gone. Gone.
Right.
Completely. And like I told brother, man, I was like, "What happened to the bronze?" "I don't know, man. Some Negro thought they were hot links and decided to get them anyway." I'm like, geez, can't get nothing, man.
Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Doc. So no, I feel you on the bratwurst, man. I'm glad I got a chance to relax and yes, I hope I speak for everybody. Get that staycation in because we love you. We want you to know you're doing miraculous things. I know he works through you. We gotta be strong, as you know. So yeah, get that staycation in when you can.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna try. That's for sure.
Nothing wrong with trying. Hey man, thank you so much. Pastor Donovan Price, more information about you. Where can people find you at, sir?
Social media, Facebook and Twitter. Pastor Donovan Price, either one of those. And of course on the Chris Base show whenever we can get it together.
Thank you.
or we can say whenever we can call this an inside joke, whenever we can link up.
Right.
And www.solutionsandresources.org.
Continue the great work you do, brother. And thank you so much. I'll see you next Friday. And always good to see you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Pastor Donovan Price. So this is a special, as you know, here on the Saturday, but he joins us every Friday in the second hour on BaseLine when we do that. We get back to Up to Speed next Friday. So thank you, Don for coming on today. Let's see here. So yeah, that whole thing with when I was getting bratwurst at the time, and it don't take much because you know how we are. We look in people's grocery baskets and being nosy. I don't care what you get. I'm getting what I have to get. You know, some people, hey man, like a hot link. Ain't no damn hot link. It's a bratwurst. And then went on from there. I had another story similar to that going with the food basket. So I don't eat it much now, but I used to really love Oreo cookies and cream ice cream. Since I discovered it as a teenager in the 80s, that was my joint. Let's see, hold on. I got to take off Barbara Jean? Okay. Barbara Jean, see y'all next time. Be well, stay safe, and remain hydrated. Got that right. Thank you, Barbara Jean, for taking the time out to do that and to be here. Doc Baseline to the Key. What's up, Doc Katrina Sanders? How you doing? Thank you for being here on Saturday. Special, of course, edition of Baseline for Saturday. We get back on track next Friday when Baseline will be on then. Food basket, again, the food basket grocery store. So I go there and I'm once again swear by it. Oreo cookies and cream ice cream. And again, 2 for $5, like the half gallon, 2 for $5. So I get I get 2, obviously. And once again, the guy told me, you're the only one that buys it. Same thing happened again. This little old light-skinned lady looked around my hip. What you got there? Shit. It's ice cream. What kind of ice cream is that? Shit. It's Oreo cookies and cream. The ice cream got cookies in it? Oh, shit. Yes. It has cookies in it, and it's Oreo cookies and vanilla ice cream. Oh, that looks delicious. I'm going to go back and get me some. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's how I felt that day. I'm like, here we go, because I experienced it with old boy with hot links / bratwurst. And what do you know? Word of mouth. Try to go back there next few weeks to shop. Like one. Especially when, and let me backtrack a little bit. So after the little old light-skinned lady was asking me about the cookies and cream ice cream by Oreo, they come up with 2 flavors at the time. So at the time it was vanilla ice cream and then chocolate ice creams. I come up with one of each. Once again, 2 for $5. And a little light-skinned lady peeked around my hip, asked all those important questions. Yeah, I knew it was over with. Yep. So I can't have nothing. I swear, I really should have been a person that worked for test companies for products to see if it will sell well in the open market. Yeah, because apparently I was on to something. Let's see. So again, on this goes free your mind. Please, you go through the YouTube channel, the Chris Base channel, all one word with a period at the end of channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Call in at 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106. Instagram, I am the base. And of course, being so daring as some of you may be, ask for the show link. I'll put in the comment section there in the peanut gallery. Continue to comment in the comment section if you want to. But if you want to be so bold, go through the comment section, ask, may I have the link? It won't be a hot link, but I'll give you the link nonetheless. And then I'll put the link in there and then come through. Once again, I have to give the PSA. It's not just for Sick Diggy if he asks for it. It's not just for him. So get it out of your minds. Because everybody, he just put up there for Sick. No, because the only one that has asked for it. That's if he wants to. You know, it's a case-by-case basis. Sometimes he asks for it, sometimes he doesn't. As you know, I had the technical stuff, but now it's fixed. If he wants it, fine. Or if you want it, it's fine. I gotta tell you, I gotta drum into your thick skulls. I can have up to 10 people on this program. Upwards of 10 people. So again, there's no excuse for communication. You have all these ways to communicate. Comment in the comment section in the peanut gallery there. You call in. Once again, going through the channels of Facebook Live and my channel on YouTube, and of course, ask for the link. That's all. Once again, and I told you in my mind to broaden the sound of the show, to broaden the show itself. Let's see here. Let's see. What happened, Barbara Jean? Oh, our electricity just went out. Oh my God, I hate when that happens. Oh, steady fast. Keep the faith, because literally everything shuts down when that happens. So let's pray that they get it up and running very, very soon and very quickly. Netflix, The Residence, separates itself from other political shows by focusing it on it's a murder mystery on the lower rungs of the White House staff. Though the President of the United States and other major players very much appear on the show, its investigation centers around the White House's chief usher, and also the detective Cordelia Cup, that's the character's name generally, deals with folks like FBI Special Agent Edwin Park, Winter's assistant, the White House executive pastry chef, and executive chef as well. Along with a generous splash of comedy and Cup's eccentric fixation on birds, this approach makes The Residence unique among the many shows Netflix has to offer, or perhaps made its more accurate tense. Per information obtained by Deadline, The Residence has been canceled despite the murder mystery's chart-busting showing and critical appreciation. Two specific things worked against The Residence. Not only was the show costly to make thanks to its massive 7-stage White House set and huge cast full of major names, but Netflix also released the series on March 20th, 2025. At that point, the streamer's unnerving crime drama, Adolescence, was still the talk of the proverbial town, which robbed The Residence of the cultural spotlight it might have otherwise received. Streaming services are infamous for canceling shows early, and Netflix is easily the best known offender when it comes to nipping interesting new series in the bud. As The Residence demonstrates, even critical success and good numbers don't necessarily guarantee survival in the dog-eat-dog world of streaming. And if you look at the platform's past, this isn't even the first time a Netflix show has received an abrupt end just because it happened to be on the expensive side of ending up running against another successful series. In fact, these exact circumstances have happened before. Netflix notoriously canceled its sci-fi mystery series 1899 just one season after due to production and budget concerns. Much like The Residence, that show also had the misfortune of debuting concurrently with a more popular series. In that case, 1899 was up against Wednesday, which went on to hog all available space in pop culture zeitgeist. Since both The Residence and 1899 were good shows that had potential for even greater things, their cancellations were no doubt a massive blow to the fans. Time will tell whether such blows make viewers ever so slightly more wary of investing their time in checking out promising new Netflix series in the future. Yeah, and nothing wrong with that. I totally agree. The shows that I've gotten into, say, in the past 6 years, the majority of ones I liked were canceled in one season. And it's frustrating because that is the culture of television now and on streaming services. They cancel it. Case in point, on CBS, they canceled, I thought was a very good show, Papa's House, with Damon Wayans Sr. and Jr. I thought it was a fantastic show. They thought it was fantastic at the time of CBS because in in November, they asked for new shows to complete the season. So it got its test run. It went through the roof and asked for more shows going into January. So hopefully that show, which I really liked a lot, can pick up somewhere else. But these one and done stuffs are just a colossal waste of my time as the viewer, as the article said, of the viewer's time. It doesn't make any sense to get invested into it. It's a cat shoot. Really it is. Let's see. Barbara Jean, good thing I have plenty of flashlights and external batteries for my phones and tablets. Okay, good for you, Barbara Jean. Absolutely. Unfortunately, she's facing what she typed earlier about electricity went out in her place. So once again, let's hope and pray that they get up and running again as soon as possible. So what's getting the backup plan with her to have the batteries so like that? Good thought. Good deal. I find myself watching programs that I've already been on. Like I was watching this program I've never seen before on Netflix, ironically called Mindhunter. So Mindhunter deals with experts from the FBI that focuses on the behavior of serial killers. And then based upon their experience and going to actually talk to serial killers, like, it's a timepiece. So like Charles Manson, the son of Sam and people like that they actually talk to get a gauge of the mind of a serial killer. They take that information and help out local authorities with their local cases when the FBI is called in. It's a very good show. It only lasted 2 seasons. The ending was kind of underwhelming for me. I get their point. I'm not gonna sit here and be a spoiler because I don't spoil, but if you're into psychological profiles and stuff like that, you might get a kick out of it. And plus, it deals with real life from the standpoint of Charles Manson, like for the son of Sam and people like that. Yeah, it's an interesting take on the whole thing. So good stuff. But oh yeah, some stuff I watch new, like the series once again on Netflix. So I'm trying to catch up on my Netflix stuff. I haven't watched Netflix in a while. The 4 Seasons with Coleman Domingo, Tina Fey, Stephen Carell, and it's based on the 1970s movie. I think it was in the 70s. The 4 Seasons with Alan Alda. So it's an updated version of that. In fact, Alan Alda makes an appearance in the new version of the 4 Seasons. So I'll just check something real quick. I get a kick out of that, and plus, the acting is just so natural. It really is. The observational skills, the one-liners they have, the interacting with the cast members, yeah, it's cool. Tina Fey is a brilliant writer. She really is. Of course, from Saturday Night Live, we're on to do the whole Mean Girls thing. In fact, Mean Girls was brought back up not only from actually a movie because my girls used to watch that, and then down the road became a Broadway hit. So, but her writing skills are great. So, if you're a fan of Tina Fey, of course, check it out. The 4 Seasons, the comedy drama series, what they call rom-coms. I think I don't know the nickname for it in particular, but actually is pretty good. Again, Tina Fey, Coleman Domingo, Steve Carell. Once again, just a great cast, and once again, based off the movie that Alan Alda was in back in the day. So, yeah, modern spin, fantastic. So again, I find myself looking at stuff that hopefully won't break my heart and hopefully will come back for season 2. Hopefully. But that's what they do these days. I mean, they canceling left to right. It's like, well, why even give them the first season in the first place? And then us as the viewer, we get invested into it. It becomes part of our routine, and then it still ain't good enough. Now, my conspiracy mind, to some degree, thinks that this is the reason why these shows were canceled on CBS, going back to Papa's House and a few others. So I may have mentioned before. So there was an article that dealt with Tim Allen returning, him and Richard Karn, their time on Home Improvement on ABC, that they're doing a program together on CBS, and a lot of money was put into it to give comedy to the point of it's not woke. Not a no woke or non woke comedy. And I said, damn, man, that's a damn shame that politics gets into our entertainment from that perspective. Really, that was not cool with me at all to find out about that. And who's to say that those shows were canceled to make way for this show with Tim Allen on CBS coming up? I say, yeah. Why not? Especially since, again, CBS and Paramount are wanting to merge as a parent company, and they need Trump's FCC to pass that to make it happen. So you kowtow to what Trump wants. They already paid the price with 60 Minutes. Remember, Trump tried to sue them, was suing CBS for saying that they edited the vice president speech, during the whole presidential campaign thing. So saying that her stuff was edited. Okay, but really, her stuff was edited. I don't get it. But what gets me is that these networks are folding under the presidency of Trump. So what? Kamala Harris, to me, then and now, was the better candidate. That's just me. And so he always has this inferiority complex, especially with women of color. So to attempt to sue CBS and saying that 60 Minutes had edited her interview, meaning then Vice President Kamala Harris, and then to turn around and win the lawsuit. Same as the lawsuit they had over ABC. Now CBS is folded, just like ABC did. Folded like a sheet because of Trump. And both were business deals because, again, they got to go through him. Like this whole thing going in with CBS and Paramount. To give him that much, it's sad. They even try to fight it. They even try to fight it at all. And the integrity of some form of news, where will it go? What will you and I do for news? CNN is folded. I do still watch them from time to time. I do still watch ABC. I do watch MSNBC. I gotta get back on NPR because NPR is pretty much, of course, the standard, I think. Or in situations like this, depending on the person you follow, the various reporters, anchors, and the like from whatever network they represent, do you still want to be a part of it? Do you still want to follow them and follow what they do? Since, for example, ABC and CBS has not been compromised by Trump by giving him money for his presidential library. Yeah, okay. That's why I appreciate people like Senator Jasmine Crockett and AOC out of New York and Hakeem Jeffries and people like that, because they fight. They just don't sit there and take it. They fight. And that's what we need. We need to fight. So when you have these bullies on all levels, not just from the presidency, on all levels, personal and the like, hate a bully. Usually bullies are weak. They're weak-minded people because they're used to flexing and getting their way, but deep down inside, they're just scared, frightened children. And you have to call them on that. At least I think so. Okay, we're about to skedaddle. Again, thank you so much for being a part of the excursion. We will get back on track next Friday when it comes to BaseLine. Of course, BaseLine airs every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific time. And again, having the BaseLine special today, based upon the fact we didn't do the show yesterday because of the holiday season and just taking a day off. Damn 4th of July. I mean, it's just to take a day off and barbecue and reconnect with people and getting back on track today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule being here. So let's see. So the next time you follow us will be on CBI on Wednesday, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific. Continue to be safe. Continue to be sound. Continue to be healthy. And most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace. Long live the funk. More power to you. As always, imparting with all of you, keep your head up.